A lot of good weapons that they acquired during the offseason, and obviously for a Florida State team, my goodness, they had no weapons to speak of last year. But Squirrel White was a really good player at Tennessee. Deuce Robinson is a guy that I don't know that's getting the attention nationally that maybe not that he deserves it, like he's done anything great in college, but man, that guy's a matchup nightmare, and I think he could do some damage. Stephon Thompson on defense, who's played a lot of ball at Syracuse and Nebraska. So, who do you like out of this bunch out of the transfer portal?
I'll tell you, the person I like the most is I can't remember his name off the top. I just remember what he did to us in the bowl game a couple years ago. Is the Oklahoma running back?
Oh, Gavin
Um,
Sawchuk.
yeah. One thing that really makes these Mike Norvell offenses go is the zone read. So with the zone read, you got to have a running back that you fear. When Trey Benson was there, Trey Benson wasn't the greatest vision guy, but man, he was just whatever hole he saw, that was what he was running through, and somebody was going to pay for it. And then you got him, and you had a good mix. So I like the backfield, but if you've got this guy from Oklahoma, he's got really good vision, and I like the way he hits the hole. You mix that with Castellanos, that's a good 1-2 matchup. But what they didn't have was a guy who can consistently catch. And that year, so like it didn't matter what the weapons were. Like if you throw the ball to somebody, every quarterback in Florida State had a problem throwing the ball to somebody and catching it. So if you got Squirrel Thomas, that's the guy that can take the top off of a defense. Hope that's there, along with Boggs, who's a freshman wide receiver from Cocoa, Florida, who's come in, looks like he's ready-made. And there's some other guy. Elijah Moore should be another guy that should be able to be some good guys that are there. But what Deuce Robinson gives you is the bailout. So Castellanos has two things we got to look at. We got to look at Boston College when he kind of came onto the scene by literally willing them, and they ran out of time on that. Florida State 13-0. I'm going to say Boston College more so ran out of time than they lost that game.
Well, what would have made that really interesting, not to cut you off, James, as you well remember, BC got a stop, and Florida State was going to punt back to Castellanos with about, 90 seconds left, 2 minutes left, and all they needed was a field goal, but there was like a face mask or something and personal foul in that end of the game. I was looking for a dramatic finish there that I didn't get.
He was looking to give it to us. And, there was a lot of other factors, but at the end of the day, nobody thought the game was going to be that close, also considering that Florida State beat the brakes off them the year before. Now, when you look at last year's team, Bill O'Brien wanted him to throw the ball more in a more pro-style system. And everybody gets on him. But if you really just go look at the box scores, there are games when he did really, really well. There are games when he did. He's 5'9". You got to move the pocket with a guy like that. You can't just as a guy who's 5'11", 6 foot himself, in a shotgun, when those guys are in their 2-point stances, they're still taller than you. So it's like you have to get on your tippy toes and identify. And I only had to identify half the line. Imagine having to see the whole field. So what benefits you in this situation when you're moving the pocket? You move the pocket, you got a guy like Squirrel, boom, he's going to take a corner, hopefully a safety with him. But then you got this 6 foot a million guy in Deuce Robinson that as long as it's a us or nobody ball, we're good. And I think that what Johnny Wilson was an us or nobody ball guy. That was a guy that bailed Jordan Travis out, made some tough catches, made some, he dropped some, but he also made some really clutch ones. And you just don't want him throwing the ball to the other team. So throw it to him. He's going to be he came out as a tight end more than anything else. So he's a bigger body guy that they're calling a wide receiver. His dad, Dominic, played when I was there. It wasn't no burner. So it's not like he's coming in. We expect him to just beat people on a 9 route. What we expect him to do is be able to move the chains and be a big intimidating body. And I think that's where that's why he'll be one of the more exciting guys on this team. So I'm looking forward to what they're going to do on offense. Defensively, I mean, I don't know Tony White's scheme well enough to truly say, like, here's who I'm looking for over there. But I do know this, and this isn't saying this is going to happen. It never works out this way. But I believe UCF's offense was the 15th ranked offense in the nation, right? And I know that Nebraska's defense was like the 13th ranked defense in the nation, or flip that overall. If Florida State had the 15th ranked offense and the 13th ranked defense last year, you're talking about another ACC championship team. Like, I know it doesn't work like that, but I do know we have some better pieces than what they had in Nebraska and at UCF. But I also know, but I do know we have a majority of those staffs that are over here. So I am interested to see how they make some of these pieces move and work. I know I was super excited about Shade Tree Jr. last year, and that didn't work. I was super excited about a lot of guys and that were more highly regarded, and they didn't work. Maybe it's time to get some guys who are a little bit grimier and need to go earn a paycheck, and I'm with that.